Hello, subscribers. This is yours truly, JBlue68, coming to you with another comic book haul. Today is August the 29th, Saturday, and we're nearing the end of the summer of 2020. Of course, this has not been a good year for hardly anything, and unfortunately, as most of you may know, and some of you may not, yesterday was the announcement of the passing of one of my favorite actors, Chadwick Boseman, the age of 43. And he, of course, is very, very well known as the role of King and Prince T'Challa in the Black Panther movie. And that was, of course, directed by Ryan Coogler. They were actually in the process of getting ready to prep Black Panther 2. But due to COVID-19, that pushed a lot of things back in the Marvel phase films. And of course, now they will have to look for a replacement, and those will be big shoes to fill. But of course, Chadwick was known for other popular roles he played in. The last movie I seen him in was Spike Lee's The Five Bloods, as I noted in my previous video. But he also played as James Brown, and of course Jackie Robinson, and a couple of other notable roles that he's been known in. Great actor, great talent. Sad loss, very much so, at a very young age, the age of 43, from colon cancer. My condolences to his family if you're watching this video, and also to the Marvel family, Disney as well, because that's who he was hired by, in the role of course, King T'Challa, the Black Panther. But again, mostly my condolences go out to his family. All right, let's get into this haul. First off, we're starting off with Spawn, issue number 309 by Todd McFarlane, and that is a dynamic cover there. This is a medieval Spawn mounted on a horse, as you can see, and that is a very cool cover. I love the shield, which is actually emblazoned with the Spawn mask that he wears. That is a very cool cover. Keep up the good work, Mr. McFarlane. And then we get into a Marvel facsimile of Spider-Man issue number 1, and this is artwork by Todd McFarlane when he used to work for Marvel. And this, of course, is Spider-Man, Legend of the Arachnid, Torment Part 1 of 5, a 5-part series. And there is Todd McFarlane's very popular signature right there. All right, that's a cool cover, man. More bugs from the Marvel Universe. We have Spider-Woman issue number 3. Also a cool cover there by Pacheco Perez and the Armata. Issue number 3, Spider-Woman. And then we get into some of our independent comics. This book is hard to find. This is issue number 2 by Scout Comics of Yasmin by Saif Ahmed and Fabiano Mascolo. And it gets into the story of a young woman living in the Middle East who unfortunately faces some very bad circumstances in her life, in the nation or the country that she's living in. It involves both her and her family. I'm hearing very, very good reviews about this book. Cannot wait to read. And then yet another bug. From Marvel, Ant-Man number 5, also a hard book to find, right before we went on lockdown. This book was discontinued briefly. I got up to issue number 3, I believe, or 2, right before or during the lockdown. This is by Zeb Wells, Dylan Burnett, and Mike Spicer. I think his name appears on another book. In this particular haul too. And another book that's hard to find under IDW. This is Star Wars Clone Wars Battle Tales number 3. And this artwork reminds me of Jindy Tartakovsky's artwork from Star Wars Clone Wars from the Cartoon Network days. Very nice. And then, of course, Diamond Comics is continuing their free comic book summer, which will be ending September the 9th, I believe. This is Dark One. by Brandon Sanderson under Vault Comics. Haven't read it yet, but I've seen the pages, the artwork, and the panels are very, very well drawn. Very well drawn. Very subduing artwork. And back to Marvel again, we have Maestro #1, another hot book under the Marvel logo, or excuse me, under the Marvel creation, by Peter David, German Peralta, Del Quion, Jesus Bertov, and Jason Keith. At last, the origin of the Hulk's greatest foe himself, Maestro. Now, I remember seeing this character when I was at New York Comic Con last year. And a giant floater statue of him or something hovering on the middle of the floor. It was very cool. You can see it in my videos. One of my videos. Just check it out when you get a chance. And in part of the Marvel Empire series is Captain Marvel #20, who is now one of the accusers, bearing the hammer of the accuser. And looking very cool there. The Spider-Woman. Not sure who that is. And of course, War Machine. They all have hammers, looks like. This, again, part of the Empire series. And then we get into the X-Men books. There are so many X-Men books out now. I thought that when Jonathan Hickman did Powers of X House of 10, that they would reduce the amount of X-Men books coming out, because one of the complaints before the Marvel fans is there were so many X-Men books that were out, way too many. And it looks like they're returning back to that, doing that again. I think they're going to be like 20 titles. But anyway, this is the extended cut, #2 of 2, X-Men God Loves, Man Kills. A very powerful story written by Christopher Claremont and Brent Eric Anderson. And this is the director's cut of that story. I do have the original story, and I showed that in a previous haul about a week ago. Then we have Cable #3, written by Jerry Duggan and Phil Noto. This is a young version of Cable, of course. All right. Pretty cool cover there. And again, as I said, so many X-Men stories. Here's Excalibur #11, Blood of the Changeling by Tini Howard. But I think this is one of the better of the X-Men stories, Excalibur. This leads into, X of Swords, the story that will be coming out this fall. And here's X Factor, another X-Men book. I enjoyed book #1. Hopefully the book #2, the follow-up, will be just as good. And I'm digging that character there, Eyeball Man. All right, and there's the Scarlet Witch in the background. Another X-Men story. This is part of the main X-Men line, I believe, #11, X-Men by Jonathan Hickman himself. Okay, donning his white suit. And then I wanted to throw this in. This is the Eternals, written by Kieran Gillen and Asad Ribic as the artist. You cannot go wrong with Asad Ribic's artwork. That's beautiful. But this is a free book offered by Marvel for their premieres. Okay, that's a cool cover. This should be coming out sometime in the winter, I believe. And we're back to